of an East Coast shutout in the front row. Ian Calderwood in car number 13, the big XF Falcon. Noel McGrath in car number 14, right alongside him from Victoria. Ross Bullimore from Queensland in a very fast Scorpion, very well presented too. And Trevor Johnson, the first West Aussie on the front 2 rows. So TJ in with a strong chance. Greg Walling in that beautiful car. And Neil Johnson's one I'm watching out for. And I am sure he'll put in a big run. Very nice looking car, brand new Commodore. Wayne Millman is a hard charger too. Looks like we're almost set for a start. The Bunbury Nissan Pace vehicle moving off the circuit. One of the smartest looking Pace vehicles in the business. John Day looks pretty happy. The East Coast guys off the front row. The Falcon alongside the Cortina. Oh, some heavy work going into turn number 1, and Trevor Johnson could almost have the race lead. Doesn't quite get it. See Bullimore working the inside run as they head down the back straight. Some heavy work going on in the first corner. Still leading this one at the moment. Ian Calderwood in car number 13. Back to Johnson as Neil Johnson exits stage left. Trevor Johnson and Neil Johnson. So it was Johnson and Johnson onto the infield. So at the moment, it is still Calderwood leading this one. Oh, there's cars going around everywhere. Bullimore loops it. Have a look at them trying to work themselves out. Yellow lights are on. Why that would be. Okay, as they head into turn number 1, Richard Nelson running strongly too in car number 32. Look for his roof number as they head down the back straight. Good scrap going on between Noel McGrath and Ian Calderwood out in front. Trevor Johnson, the first West Aussie, splitting him up, nearly heads exit stage left again. Exactly the same place, and things are not well with Trevor Johnson's Moylan Silos Cortina. Calderwood continues to lead from McGrath back there in second. Nelson a strong drive to third. Greg Walling up very high. Neil Johnson into 4th place. Look at this battle for the race lead as through on the inside goes Noel McGrath. The 2 Victorians really charging at it out in front as the big Falcon starts to make a bit of smoke coming onto the main straight. Neil Johnson, a horror run midway through turn number 4, drifted back a couple of positions. Nelson, this is a strong drive from him. Millman up to 4th, Walling for 5th. Neil Johnson go back to a strong run for Purser. Dennis Clark and Bullimore back at the rear of the field. But have a look at this man out in front, Kent, running the half-track run. Very fast-looking Cortina. Car number 14, Noel McGrath. Okay, Calderwood, although that car smoking profusely, it doesn't appear to be affecting his performance. Nelson is beginning a charge here as they head down the back straight. Looks for the inside run on the big Falcon. Oh, just blows through. Too easy. Oh, no, the exit. Oh, Calderwood did a brilliant job to avoid heavy contact. He did actually get into him, but nothing on. Johnson tried to come through on the inside. Calderwood was heading infield, and there's some heavy contact going on out there. This is heat number 1 of the Modified Sedan Championships, brought to us by Lowway Engineering, and Ken, it's turning out to be a hectic one.
It is. It's almost a demo derby, Wade, as they come around past Catalano Corner. And car number 14, Noel McGrath, has got heat number 1 wrapped up. I wonder what he's thinking right now. Please hang on, car, please. No doubt that's what's going through his mind. Richard Nelson, the WA car at 32, coming up in 2nd place as they head on down the back straight. A little bit of bumping and grinding. The Wallings car over there seem to be heading on and off the track. He's not going too well in this heat. Seems to be going all over the show.
Yeah, having a few dramas, but mind you, it is the first event of the night so far, and I'm sure that we'll see Greg Walling come back up a little bit stronger as the night wears on. In the meantime, still blitzing this field as McGrath is cleared the length of the back straight and then some on 2nd place, Richard Nelson. Wayne Millman is a strong runner from Collie up in 3rd. In 4th, from Leonora, Neil Johnson back there in about 4th place. Well, if we call Chad Johnson Mr. Sleek, does that make Neil Johnson Father Sleek? We'll have to ask him. Greg Walling coming through on the inside of Purser in car number 11. These are marathon heat races. They're set down over 12 laps, so it's a long way around. No need to rush things. You've got plenty of time. In the meantime, there's good scrap going on for the minors. Neil Johnson and Wayne Millman, who in turn are both making ground on Nelson, who goes way too high onto the main straight. The Centura of Nelson just being clobbered by Wayne Millman, and the Sigma just storms through on the inside. Johnson trying to have a piece of him as well as they head down the back straight. Our race leader, Noel McGrath, is enjoying this well out in front of a very potent Cortina. as he heads into turn number 1. Millman goes high. Johnson tries to get through on the inside of Nelson. Very sideways on the main straight. A lot of power underneath the bonnet of the 8 Commodore of Neil Johnson. Look at this scrap for second. The battle for the race lead is over. Put down your glasses. Noel McGrath is blitzing this field. But look at Neil Johnson on the inside of Nelson now. Johnson had some problems earlier in the night, but is storming back to a strong placing in this one as Nelson goes high again. Walling now slips up to 4th as Johnson goes through on the inside of Millman for second. So what a drive this has been. Imagine if Neil Johnson hadn't spun in the early laps. White flag coming out, and this would make Noel McGrath a very happy man. The number 4 Cortina, proudly sponsored by Pennzoil. Neil Johnson holding down second and doing a good job of it too in the freeway. Avis car back then to Millman. Walling, we go back to Richard Nelson, who's faded a little bit in the dying laps of this one. Back to Purser in car number 11. It's storming out of turn number 4. Checkered flag at the ready, and what a great win for the Victorian Noel McGrath in car number 14. Second, a strong drive. Neil Johnson, very hard charge from Neil Johnson in car number 22. We have to look at their roof numbers. The Commodore, we go back to Wayne Millman, Greg Walling, back to Richard Nelson. Car number 11, a strong performance from John Purser. Back to Dennis Clark. The Bunbury Nissan Navara moves off the second. Green flag's out. Robbie Hungens through into the race lead, but look at this battle. Well, it is on for young and old back there in second place at the moment. Alan Buckley having a strong run with the former dual Australian champion. That is Bob Walling. Look at this. Going into turn number 3, the big lime green XF Falcon of Rob Hungens, and Buckley just storms around the outside of him. What a great drive. Up into the race lead. The Shell Norseman 18 car back there in second. Bob Walling, 2 Commodores of differing model, and Bob Walling, a former 2-time Australian champ and a 5-time state champ, and Kent looking ominous now as he lines up the inside run on Buckley.
Absolutely, Wade. Boy, they're really flying this heat, that's for sure. They picked up the pace, coming around a little bit wide there. And it looks like, yep, underneath he goes. Car number 4, Bob Walling, 2-time national title holder from Victoria, or New South Wales, excuse me, has jumped into first spot as they head on down the back straight. It's still very close. These cars are really moving. And into turn number 3 they go. Look at the back markers, though.
Yeah,
very close.
I think this time might be considerably quicker than the first up heat, as Walling heads the fielder's fresh bred Commodore into turn number 1 ahead of Alan Buckley in car number 18 for second. Back to Rob Hungens. Daniel Amajuri, a young man in his first season of open modified sedan racing in the senior ranks. He's a former junior champion, turned his hand to seniors this year in the ex-Paul Peter Ellis, I should say, number 3 Escort. And very impressive car too. That is, of course, the car campaigned by the Wombat Racing team as Amajuri now heads infield. Bad luck for him. Oh, strong work between Les Weston and Frank Doze. That won't go unnoticed. Walling continuing out in front, running the low line. And this is one fast combination. The very quick fielder's Commodore being piloted by Bob Walling. Mac there in second. Alan Buckley, what a drive it was from him early on. Rob Hungens in the Odin Radiators, number 2 Falcon. We go back to Frank Doze and the 41 Greg's Tyres, number 41 Cortina. Back to Les Weston in the 37 Commodore. But there are some strong runs right through the field, none more so than this man, Bob Walling, who owns the Fielder's Bread, the equivalent to Buttercup over on the East Coast. One heck of a race car driver, and his cat would be doing absolute handstands in the pits. Got a pretty unsupporter. Strong family backing and a Hollywood race team when they go out onto the track, that's for sure.
Some great racing going on there, Wade. Look at him go. Fielder's Fresh Bread. That's his name. Bob Walling's in car number 4, way out in front there. But Mr. Buckley says, I haven't got Buckley's at this stage. Around turn number 2, he goes down in the black machine, down the back straight. Still got about 100 metres on him as Bob Walling. We go back to the back markers there as they head into turn number 1. Around they go. Whoa, they touch and come off. Not to worry. Bob Walling starting to lap the traffic now as he heads down the back straight in car number 4. Then we've got Mr. Alan Buckley coming second from New South Wales. In third position still Rob Hungens, I'd say. In the green Falcon, car number 2.
Frank Doze is back there in about 4th place at the moment. Les Weston having a good battle with Amajuri. We go back to car number 21. I've been dreading this all night. Chris Overall will say. I'm not sure whether it's overall or overall, but we'll use one of them. I'm sure at least one irate member of his pit crew will come up and see us as they run through turn number 3 and 4. What a drive this has been from Bob Walling in car number 4. We were saying he's done this on 2 occasions, won an Australian title as Overall's car. The thrifty, very nicely prepared 21 Commodore pulling up with a lot of problems. Robbie Hungens can soldier on a very big number 2 Falcon. That'd be like driving a tank around this place. Would not handle, but Hungens doing a great job. Doe's back there in the Cortina. 1 lap left to go. And I tell you what, this thing sounds like it's doing 1,000 plus revs. It really sounds like it's doing some work, but doesn't it get it all down in a straight line? Down the back straight for the final time. And heading into turn number 3 for the final time, our race leader, who will be our race winner. 2-time Australian champ and 5-time state champion, Bob Walling. Very good drive. Things to come, perhaps, from that particular driver. What a strong drive from Alan Buckley back there at second in car number 18. Rob Hungens, good strong effort in car number 2, the Rob Hungens Odin Radiators Falcon. We go back to Frank Doe's, the M&D Auto Engineering number 3 car. I would say we then go back to Daniel Amajuri in car number 19. Also out there, Murray Penn in car number 23. And what a great performance from Walling. Ominous signs for the opposition, with Walling in a mean mood and the fielder's fresh bred number 4 Commodore.
Anyway, they're away. Heat number 3, Shane Martin in car number 7 out in front. Oh boy, I'm
hectic.
staying out of this. Pretty heavy traffic as they head on down the back straight. Definitely Shane Martin sitting out in first position. He'll be happy at this stage. West Australian man, car number 7 in first spot. Look at the hassles and tassels and fights and all that sort of thing for second, third and fourth as they come around car number 31 in Peter Thayer. Boy, it sounds like you've got a lip problem when you say that, doesn't it, Peter Thayer?
What were you saying?
Not for long, though.
As they head down the back straight, I was just watching as Steve Hancock tried a number going into turn number 1. It didn't come off. He went in coming in second and he got spat out the back of the pack in no uncertain terms. They don't care if you're the state champ here. They just chew you up and spit you out like the rest of them. Martin is clearing away, but look at this battle for second. Peter Thayer skips clear. Phil Rose up to third place. Hancock round the outside of Talenta. Looks like we've got a car pulling up, going down the back straight. Everybody managing to squeeze through. Martin is flying in the Hills Wreckers number 7 Sigma. Around we got somebody going into turn number 3. We look like we'll cop a yellow in this one. We'll just wait to figure out who that driver was, but how was Martin's run on the front? And Steve Hancock got handed out some heavy work going into turn number 1, but didn't he come back?
Yep, there goes the John Day Ute. Go, says Shane Martin. Car number 7 hangs out there in front. Look at 31 right up behind him, though. This is going to be very close for second, third,
Hancock.
fourth.
Oh, Hancock, what a run. Up to third. Well, again, this has been a strong drive from him. He had trouble going into turn number 1 on the opening lap, went probably as far back as 7th, but hasn't he stormed back up to third and looking to charge for the top 2?
I'd say he's going to be in the second spot sooner than we know. Very soon, in fact. Shane Martin sitting out there in first position, but boy, oh boy, not as good as he was last time round. There he goes. Straight through and underneath. Yes, indeed.
Well, Peter Thayer was pretty well held out to dry going into turn number 2. Bill Rose was able to slip through. So at the moment, we got a Sigma out in front from a Cortina, another Sigma and a Commodore. Back to the other Commodore of Ian Brims, performing very well in car number 36. We go back to Fish Talenta, Brad Ludlow, Glenn Smith, Rick Machete and Greg Oliver down the back straight. Going into turn number 3, Shane Martin out in front and doing it deluxe with Steve Hancock, our state champ, back in second.
I tell you what, I don't know how long Shane Martin's going to hang in there. Steve Hancock, the current WA champ, he will be right on the hammer. All this season at Bunbury especially, he's been a mile in front of everybody else. Down the back straight though, and Shane Martin's making me eat my words at the moment as he pulls away a little into turn number 3. Steve Hancock, current WA1 in second spot. Then we go back to Phil Rose and also Peter Thayer, who, well, looks like he's not going to sit there much long for Mr. Brims in car number 76. Boy, oh boy, there he goes into fourth position. And Peter Thayer going way too wide there, letting him straight underneath and back into fifth spot. So there we have it, a nice even tussle. But look at Phil Rose come up on Steve Hancock as they head out of turn number 4. Down the main straight, Shane Martin in first spot. Then we go back to Steve Hancock, Phil Rose, then the Brims car 76, and Peter Thayer in number 3, I think it is.
Well, Shane Martin continuing to throw down the challenge here. Is always a fast combination, and especially on this particular circuit. And let's have a look now, because Phil Rose is really starting to give the Narrogin Wreckers Cortina of Steve Hancock a hard time. Martin has picked this track picture perfect as he guns the Hills Wreckers Sigma down the back straight into turn number 3. Has pulled well clear. I thought Hancock might have been making a charge, but if anything, Martin has answered that and then some. They are trying to come back strongly, but look at Ian Brims. Well, Hancock out of the race. The Narrogin Wreckers Cortina heading infield. That will hurt his chances dramatically overall in the points. You cannot afford to drop a heat like that. And Hancock, obviously with big problems, heads infield. Well, that's bad luck. What it does is it hands the race to Martin on a platter. Mind you, he's earned it himself. Phil Rose up to second. How about this drive from Ian Brims in car number 36? Well, Alan Blake said to me in the pits earlier that Brims got around here like a local at practice last night. And isn't he just smoking around this place at the moment? Checkered flag now at the ready for the local boy. Let's hear it for Shane Martin in car number 7. Good drive. Phil Rose gets second, but Ian Brims, car number 36, the Brims earth-moving Commodore. What a drive, Alan Blake. You picked his form to a T. Very fast time too. Martin, an absolute jet. Bad luck for Hancock. And heat number 3 brought to us by Bunbury Fuel Injection and Turbocharger Service, and proudly sponsored by Bunbury Nissan. And away goes our field. Bob Walling on the inside, Greg Walling on the outside. Richard Nelson tucked in there as well. Millman's come up to 4 as they head down the back straight. Nelson pushing very hard in there. So too is Penn as they head down the back straight into turn number 3. Murray Penn in car number 23. Look at this. Millman making a charge. The only West Aussie boy in the top 3, trying to split up the 2 New South Welshmen. The young Greg Walling, young at about 37 years of age, and his father at about 57, Bob Walling. And these two are going to run some team tactics here and try and block out the West Aussies. Millman's up to 3rd. Murray Penn enjoying a strong run. So is Amaturi, Rob Hungens. Go back to Les Weston and Dennis Clark. On the main straight, look at this. The fielder's fresh-bred precision driving team. The 2 Commodores. Now, these aren't team tactics. I don't know what else. Look at this. Millman goes for the inside run. 3 wide down the back straight. And come on, West Aussies. Millman is trying to make a fist of this for the local stars. He's working hard on the main straight. Come on, Millman. He's really charging. Bob Walling still leading this one. But the West Aussie from Collie really started to make these East Coast guys eat their words. Greg Walling's back in 3rd. Millman, look at the long legs of the Bob Walling Commodore going into turn number 3. These V6 power plants, certainly no shortage of horsepower. Millman refuses to let this one go. Greg Walling trying to get back up into 2nd place at this stage. Back then to car number 32, Richard Nelson. Back to Rob Hungens, Murray Penn, Daniel Amaturi, Dennis Clark and Les Weston. And Bob Walling, can he withstand the Collie charge? Wayne Millman drops down a little low. The Sigma against the very big and powerful Commodore of Bob Walling. This is 12 laps. It's a long way around. Certainly Millman's got the time. They've spread out quite evenly now as they head down the back straight. Bob Walling probably settling down a little. There's hectic early laps where he's running with his son. He's had a moment. Here comes Millman again. So Bob Walling cannot afford to fall asleep at the wheel here, because Millman, the Collie Mitsubishi tire power entry, in with a big chance. Amaturi has spun the Minicraft number 8 Escort, but is out of harm's way and the motor is still running. Well, Millman probably had to concede 2nd for a while, and then he saw Walling have a bit of a moment coming off turn number 4. All of a sudden, it was a totally different ball game. Dennis Clark and Les Weston having a good scrap as Amaturi rejoins the field. Richard Nelson, consistency, back there in 4th. In 5th, Rob Hungens. In the number 2, Ode Radiators, XF Falcon. We'll go back to Murray Penn, Les Weston and Dennis Clark with Amaturi and Greg Walling. Now he's starting to come back. Well, this will be a hard charge from Greg Walling. He's all over the tail of Wayne Millman in the number 8 Collie Sigma. Not quite sure if Millman's car doesn't sound a little flat as they go into turn number 3. Car was backfiring a little bit earlier. Bob Walling in charge now. Courtesy flag coming out to Daniel Amajuri to tell him he's about to be lapped in the move-up track. And Wayne Millman has gone from the aggressor to the defender now, with Greg Walling sitting right on his hammer as they head down the back straight. Millman needs to resort to a defensive line. Greg Walling pounces. Well, he goes through on the inside, and Millman now forced to reassess his options. I'd say he was caught not quite aware, so he hit the slick line down low. And Millman now dropping back to third. The Walling boys reclaiming 1 and 2. Well, Bob Walling said earlier in the night that he was hoping for a 1-2 finish in the feature. And so as he heads on the main straight, 1 lap left to travel. Bob Walling really enjoying this. The dual Australian champ, his young son in car number 3. Greg Walling up to the second. Wayne Millman for third. Back to Richard Nelson, Rob Hunches. We go back to Les Weston, Murray Penn, Dennis Clark. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Yet another win for Bob Walling. 2 wins from 2 starts. He's done it well. Second to Greg Walling. Third to Wayne Millman. We go back to Richard Nelson and Rob Hunches having a great stoush for the Miners. Hunches trying to push through on the inside. Here comes the run. No, Nelson will get it from Hunches. We go back to Les Weston and Murray Penn with Dennis Clark in car number 39. Checkered flag is out. Well, come on, Bunbury. How about a drive from Wayne Millman trying to split up the East Coast Stars? Heat number 5 of the Australian Modified Sedan Championship, brought to us by Bunbury Nissan and brought to us this particular heat by Fencing Unlimited. Where are the Hancock fans? Off position 1 alongside Brad Ludlow with Phil Rose. I tell you what, these are tough heats. Onto the main straight we go. Brad Ludlow on the outside. Ian Brims in car number 36. We saw Brims in spectacular fashion in his first heat race appearance. Let's hope for the West Aussie's sake he's a little bit more subdued, because he's one heck of a peddler. Look at Neil Johnson on the inside. There's strong work back in the field. Our race leader is Steve Hancock. Brad Ludlow back in second. Phil Rose for third. Ian Brims for fourth. Look, there's some strong runs coming from back in the field here. Car number 14 won the first heat and did an exceptionally good job. And we're looking for stronger things from Noel McGrath in this one. Neil Johnson around the outside. Oh, there's some strong work here. Chris Overall in car number 21. Phil Rose has got a problem. Looks like it might even be a flat tyre. It is. It's a flat right rear tyre. And that's bad luck for Phil Rose. If you want to continue around the outside and pick up the points for this. But our state champion from Narrogin, Steve Hancock. Weaving Stephen as they come off turn number 4. This man very talented behind the wheel. Young man very determined. Ian Brims trying to make short work of this rookie sensation. Back then to Noel McGrath. Brims has got a problem. Well, the Commodore pulls infield. Bad luck indeed for Brims. This is a race of attrition. Hancock is leading. Brad Ludlow is in second. Look at Neil Johnson storming back through the field, trying to make a big move on the number 14 Cortina of Noel McGrath. We go back to a good strong drive. Car number 21, Chris Overall, back to car number 33 in your program, Ross Bullimore. And car number 11, John Purser. Well, Phil Rose staying out of harm's way. Hancock continuing to blitz the field. Brad Ludlow doing a great job in car number 15. Noel McGrath and the pencil, number 14 Cortina. Back then to the Commodore of Neil Johnson. Good scrap between Chris Overall and John Purser back in car number 11. And Ross Bullimore in car number 33. Onto the main straight once more. It's all Hancock enjoying a very good run. The Bob Flood Automatics Rambler. Jenkins car of Brad Ludlow, the son of Super Sedan driver Benny Ludlow, and has taken to this sport like a duck to water in only his first full season in motor racing. Brad Ludlow holding down second place in heat number 5 of the Australian Modified Sedan Championship, brought to us by Bunbury Nissan. So Hancock continuing to fly through this one. Down the back straight, puts another lap on Phil Rose. Narrogin Wreckers, number 7 Cortina. We see Chris Overall again going infield. Horror run for him in the early going. Hancock on cruise mode, but Brad Ludlow has not let him get too far away. Neil Johnson, the Avis Commodore. That is a fast car. Back to Noel McGrath in car number 14. John Purser in the Shark Bay Fuel number 11 car. Oh, Johnson's lost it. Has spun the car right at the exit to turn number 2 and handed McGrath third place. Brad Ludlow is making ground. Hancock's got a problem yet again. What bad luck for him. The car is pulling up. Oh, Johnson's come back onto the track. Brad Ludlow's about to make a pass down the back straight. Hancock's car is ailing. You wouldn't read about it. Brad Ludlow into the race lead. 17 years young, and Hancock goes infield again. Oh, that's desperate bad luck. What a race of upsets this one's been. Brad Ludlow is just cleaning up out here. This is unbelievable. Car number 5, the Rambler, out in front. Noel McGrath back there in second now. Johnson handed him third, and in turn, with Hancock's demise, he's been able to move up another one. 1 lap left to travel. What a drive this has been for the young Charger. Brad Ludlow. Back to car number 4, Noel McGrath from Victoria. A long way back to John Purser in car number 11. What a drive this has been, race fans. It's his first season, and he's just won a heat of the Bunbury Nissan Australian Championship. Let's hear it for Brad Ludlow. What a great drive. How's the casual little wave to the steward just then? Noel McGrath gets second in car number 4. John Purser, a strong drive in car number 11. We go well back in our field at the moment now. Neil Johnson trying to storm back through to reclaim his position. Bullimore will get the next position with sparks flying out front of the car. Neil Johnson disappointed in car number 22. Dispatch this one. Johnson on the outside of Buckley. This is some hard charging in the early heats of this one. Oh, ducking down low. Have a look at the 34 car. Very quick entry of Gary Pascoe. Oh, just storms up to the race lead. Thank you very much. This might be heat number 6 in the Australian Modified Championship, but I'm not daunted in the slightest. Oh, Gazzy got a bit of a push. Johnson storms through. Martin's in there as well. So too is Thayer. Well, Shane Martin gets bent across the front. This is heavy going. Johnson's in there. So is Thayer in car number 31. Car number 34, Gary Pascoe. That's a fast car. We go back to Alan Buckley, who I thought had a big chance in this one. Mick Rachetti back in the field. Glenn Smith, Frank Doze. Fish Talenta in there as well. And car number 35, Greg Oliver. Well, Martin continuing to lead from Peter Thayer. Oh, Trevor Johnson, very spooky. Pascoe trying to make short work of him as they go down the back straight into turn number 3. There is no place for the weak at heart. These guys know it's Australian title time, and you cannot afford to miss a place. Martin looking to make it 2 from 2 in the Hills Records. Number 7 Sigma, the 31 Commodore of Peter Thayer, as we see Pascoe having a bit of a moment coming out of turn number 2. The car has fired back into life, quite fortunately. The race continues. Martin in charge. The Combined Petroleum, Thayer Automotive, number 31 car. Peter Thayer under siege now. The Moylan Silos Cortina of Trevor Johnson. The car he purchased from Brad Blake last season. Alan Buckley back there in 31, with the 18 on the roof number. And Buckley was very strong in his early heat and having a tough run this time out. Frank Doze and Mick Rachetti having a great scrap in the 2 Cortinas. We go back to Greg Oliver, Fish Talenta, Glenn Smith in the 25 Cortina, and Gary Pascoe. Well, he started like an absolute rocket, but the car has let him down a little in the dying stages. Doze and Rachetti having a great scrap. Look at the 2 Cortinas. Oh, Rachetti's got around. Oh, Fish Talenta right into the side of him. And we are under caution. There was a bit of contact going into turn 3 between Doze and Rachetti. Rachetti went around, and Fish Talenta did all he could to get out of the way. It wasn't enough. Okay, Martin initiates the start. Thayer will be in second. Johnson for third. Buckley for fourth. Back then in 5th place, it's Frank Doze. So Martin, that is a very fast Sigma he's got at his disposal. Buckley in the Commodore, Thayer in the Commodore, and the Cortina of Johnson splitting them all up. Frank Doze in the Cortina. Oh, Doze wipes the wall going down the back straight. A little bit of panel damage, but the car seems to be going okay as Trevor Johnson had a good look on the inside of Thayer. got a little bit spooky. Frank Does, Greg Oliver, Glenn Smith and Gary Pascoe round out your field as Martin heads down the back straight once more, totally in charge of heat number 6 of the Australian Modified Sedan Championship, brought to us by Bunbury Nissan. Onto the main straight. Laps are starting to tick by now. And Martin is enjoying this. Make no mistake about it. 2 wins from 2 starts. How could you not be happy? Down the back straight, Thayer has been consistent and rock solid for second. Not allowed Johnson to look through on the inside. Back in fourth, Alan Buckley, as Johnson's Cortina starting to make a little bit of smoke now. Frank Does in the Cortina having a good scrap with Greg Smith. Back to Gary Pascoe and Greg Oliver. On the main straight once more, and Martin is doing this too easily. Well, we said he was a dark horse for this event, and he's just stamping himself as a possible favourite. There's a long way to go, but with form like this, how can you ignore it? Look at this battle for second. Thayer and Johnson just going for it. Albany versus Calabaron as they head out of turn number 2 and down the back straight. Alan Buckley having a bit of a consistent run, although the car doesn't seem to be quite as fast as it was in that first heat, and I'd say he's got a few dramas. Martin nervously probably looking up at the steward's box, saying how many laps are left in this thing? Where's the white flag? It always seems like there's 20 laps to go when you're leading, and it always seems like there's never enough when you're not. Going into turn number 3, 1.25 laps left to go. Don Crombie will be a happy man to get this one out of the way, but he won't be quite as happy as Martin, who's still leading. Look at this battle between Johnson and Thayer. Hectic modified sedan action. Someone's car very hot out there. You can just smell the damage that's possibly being done to this engine. Let's hope nothing too bad. Well, what a drive it's been. Shane Martin, the number 7 Sigma, takes the win. Come on, race fans. Very fast car. The Hills Wreckers entry. Back to Peter Thayer. Trevor Johnson with smoke pouring from the tail of the Cortina. Back then to Alan Buckley in car number 18. Frank Does in car number 41. We'll go back to Gary Pascoe in the Wilson's entry. Back then to a good strong run for Greg Oliver in car number 35 and Glenn Smith in car number 25. Before the meeting, we spoke to Shane Martin and asked him just how he thought he'd go.
Yeah, not too bad. There's only a couple of quick ones from the east. The rest, yeah, can beat them normally anyway, so not a problem. We'll beat them.
It's a little switch. It's on the bottom and off on the top.
Thanks.
Way to go. Green flag's out. Well, 2 heavy hitters off the front row. Phil Rose on the inside against the Victorian McGrath. Oh, well done, Phil Rose. Here comes. This is a very strong run. Millman on the outside. Hancock goes with him. This is some very tough heat. Look at this. Johnson gets inside, nearly puts Millman around. Rose is leading this one from McGrath. We go back to a strong run from Ian Brims. Hancock, Millman, Johnson, Amaturi, Lumbo, and Weston. This is a strong heat. Down the back straight, out in front, the FRM Sigma, Phil Rose. Back there in second. What a strong run, Noel McGrath. Ian Grimm's back there in second. He's a make to make the move on the outside. Will it come off? Yes, it does. The East Coast Stars. That is a fast Commodore. Hancock's in there as well. Those 2, Johnson and Millman, well, with 2 DNFs to his name. Oh, how's the wheel stand from Wayne Millman in the Sigma? Down the back straight with 2 DNFs. Steve Hancock really is chasing a big result. He just chased the tail of Noel McGrath then as they come off turn number 3. Hit cannon into the back of him. So Rose running strongly. Hancock's through to third. Driving very aggressively. He knows he's got points to make up as Brad Ludlow heads infield. Oh, round goes McGrath in car number 14. So the West Aussies running 1 and 3 out there at the moment. We go back to second place. Ian Brims and the Brims Earth-Living PP7 on the door and 36 on the top. And he's making some ground on Phil Rose. Hancock's up to third. Millman for fourth. Johnson for fifth. Back to Amaturi, Ludlow and Weston. Midway through turn number 3 and 4. Our race leader under siege now. Here comes Brims. Well, this is right on. Car number 36, Ian Brims from Queensland. Looking on the inside of Rose, who says, I'm not having any of that. Puts out a fiberglass fence. Oh, look at Brims on the outside. An obvious horsepower advantage. You can see just how fast that car really is. He switches back down low. Rosie won't let him through on there. On to turn number 1. Look at this. Amaturi spins out, but Brims, Hancock could get Brims at the same time. Well, the Queenslander needs to be very careful that while he's going for the big move on the outside, that Steve Hancock doesn't slip inside. Here it comes. Off turn number 4. Our race leader, Phil Rose, looking Friends on the outside once more. What a great race. Oh, Friends did it the hard way. Looking for the outside run. Phil Rose comes back at him down the back straight. What a great race. Phil Rose holding him out. They go into turn number 3. This is great stuff. Launching into the air. Phil Rose on the inside of Prims. Look at this battle for the race lead. The Commodore on the outside, the Sigma on the inside. Prims from Queensland. The local boy from Bunbury, Phil Rose, trying not to surrender, but Prims, a very fast Commodore, puts himself up into the race lead. Hancock, the car starting to smoke again. Let's hope his woes do not continue. Millman back in fourth. Lobo, Jury and Weston, but look at this. Neil Johnson in there as well as they start to lap cars down the back straight. Prims slipped through under the traffic. Here comes Rose as well, trying to sneak through underneath. They go past McGrath. Johnson's tucked up in there. Hancock's for third. Courtesy flag now out to McGrath to allow him getting the loop aside through. The lap traffic is there. Hancock still holding on to third. Rose has not let go of the 736 car of Ian Prims, who has driven exceptionally well to work the outside run. 1 lap left in this one. What a great drive it's been from Prims. Out in front, the 36 Commodore has an unusual cone to it that by G fast. Rose is held on desperately for second. Third is Hancock. This stage, I think Millman is fourth in the Conley Mitsubishi Sigma. Back to the bomb front automatics, number 5 Rammer of Glad Ludlow. Checkered flag is at the ready. What a drive, Ian Prims. Fantastic drive. 36 takes the win from Rose. Third will go to Hancock. Fourth will go to Wayne Millman in car number 8. We'll go back to Brad Ludlow in car number 5. Back to Daniel Amajuri, Neil Johnson and Les Weston with Noel McGrath in there as well. As we go into heat number 8. Heat number 7 was proudly brought to us by Bunbury Toyota. Peter Cricky and all the gang at Bunbury Toyota, thank you for their support. Heat number 8 is underway now, sponsored by Make It Hardware, and Shane Martin is about to make every post a winner as he goes into turn number 3. Walling charging through there as well. Our race leader, the very fast Hills Wreckers Sigma of Shane Martin out in front. Alan Buckley back in second. Here comes Bob Walling looking for the inside runner, Greg Oliver. Also out there, John Purser in car number 11 as we see Glenn Smith retiring the Lewis Auto Restorations. 52 Cortina from the event. Buckley in second. Now as they come out of turn number 4 onto the main straight, Shane Martin has looked one of the real hot favourites for this title. Going into Saturday night's feature race, he can feel that his form has been outstanding. The car has been very good to him, and I'm sure that he is enjoying this. On the main straight once more. Very nice looking Hills Wreckers, FRM Swift's car. Look at this battle between the two Commodores. Walling on the inside, Buckley on the outside. Purser and Oliver having a good scrap as well. Look at the tyre smoke. Well, the former Australian champion not scared at all to show Buckley the right-hand side of his car. Buckley comes back at him now. Let's have a look at they run on the main straight. Walling's car is very fast. And the number 4 Builders Red Commodore storming up to second. Buckley will try to hang on, but that is a very fast Commodore in front of him. Look at Martin, he's absolutely bolted. He'll be sitting very pretty in the point standings, I can assure you. Probably be very close to top point scorer. Mind you, Bob Walling in car number 4 would be right up there as well. And look the goods. And back there in third, Alan Buckley. We go back to John Purser in car number 11 from Shark Bay. And Greggy Oliver from Coolgardie. On the main straight once more. Martin has looked so dominant this weekend so far, Ken, and I'm sure his form will carry on to Saturday night.
Absolutely, Wade. It's unbelievable. He must be miles ahead at this stage on points, especially over tonight's performance. I think he's won everything he's been in, hasn't he?
Yep, has not missed a beat. The car is handling like a dream for him. Mind you, I've been very impressed with Bob Walling too. Sure,
absolutely. He's been doing a lot of preparation in Bunbury, sitting down in Alan Blake Regging's workshop for the last week and a half. He raced at Claremont last Friday night and sort of got used to the West Australian tracks. Now doing very well at Bunbury tonight. But you can't put anything past Shane Martin. He is going really, really well. Unbelievable. His line, his car, the preparation. They say you win the race in the workshop weeks before the actual race. Well, the car looks an absolute treat, prepared wonderfully, and it really does show tonight. He's just going around and around very consistently, and that's all you've got to do. You've got to finish the race before you can win one. And boy, oh boy, just as I say that, he gets a bit out of shape.
Yeah, that's all the way to get Robert Chisholm dead. He's running around through turn number 3 and 4 in about a half-track run. He keeps the car very straight. Let's follow his style. As he goes into turn number 3, he does keep the car quite straight. That way not washing off too much speed. You'll see him come off the turn. The car handling like a dream. Walling's making ground on him, but I fancy that time may well be the enemy of Bob Walling, who is battling very hard to pull him back. Alan Buckley's been consistent all night in the 18 Commodore. Back then to John Purser in car number 11 from Shark Bay, and Greg Oliver in car number 88. On the main straight now, 1 lap left to travel, and Shane Martin about to bring the house down. Yet another heat win. If he can hold it together for 3/4 of a rotation of Bunbury City Speedway. He heads down the back straight. This is the Make It Hardware. Heat number 8, his final appearance tonight. And Martin is going to go out in style. Checker flag at the ready. Come on, Bunbury Speedway. What a great night of racing he's put together. Martin gets the win. Second will go to Bob Walling in car number 4. Third across the line, we're going to Alan Buckley in car number 18. We go back to John Purser in car number 11, the Shark Bay Fuel and Service Centre. And back then to Greg Oliver, waiting on a start. Final heat. Heat number 9 for tonight. Super Sedan feature coming up shortly, but for this, it's the final chance to get those all-important points on the board. Down the back straight, Nelson's been in top form tonight. Oh, Bullymore having a few problems in the Scorpion. Didn't seem to be its usual devastating self down the straights. Peter Thayer is leading this at the moment. Oh, Nelson gave him one to think about. Out in front at the moment. Johnson's up to third. Hungins is in there as well. So they head down the back straight, our race leader, Peter Thayer, one of the real characters of the sport, behind the wheel of the 31 Thayer Automotive car, and the Wicked Surfwear. Meanwhile, up into second. Look at this battle between the Centura of Richard Nelson and the Cortina of Trevor Johnson, who just moved him up track. Robbie Hungins having a ball with the number 2 car. Let Greg Walling in there as well. Gary Pascoe, that car was very quick in a straight line. Let's have a look as he goes underneath Hungins, who's a wily campaigner. Doesn't want to let him through. The big Falcon on the outside should have Green's Tough written on the side of it for the nostalgics as Pascoe gets through. Greg Walling in there with Bullymore and Doze. Back then to Murray Penn and Dennis Clark in car number 39. Going into turn number 3 once more, our race leader, Peter Thayer, just propped a little coming into turn number 3. May have been just to stab the brakes, reassess the line, and get it back on track. Johnson, meanwhile, is made short work of Richard Nelson back to third. Pascoe's up to 4th. Walling has slipped around the outside off. Pascoe heads infield, so Walling picks up 2 positions in 2 corners. Doze is battling back there with Bullymore, with Murray Penn and Dennis Clark. But Thayer in the Wicked Surfwear car, putting in a wicked performance, that's for sure. Still leading this one. Nelson's been very impressive for his 3rd place in this one, and runs strong all night. But Greg Walling trying to spin up this local trifecta by putting the fielder's fresh bread, number 3 Commodore, up into 3rd place. Can he do it? Richard Nelson's the man who stands in his way. This is their last chance to qualify in tonight's racing. The Super Sedan feature coming up very shortly. But they are enjoying this, stretching the long legs of the 31 Commodore. Trevor Johnson, the Moylan Silos, Kelleberrin, Cortina. Look at this, here comes Walling on the outside, trying the outside run on Nelson. Let's have a look. He's got a little bit more horsepower, and Nelson would know that. He's going to make sure he comes off the turn a little bit high, not to afford Walling a look. Here comes the outside run again, but Nelson doing a great job. The Centura answering the call. As they go into turn number 3, Walling tucks it down low, stabs the brakes, brings the car back underneath. Nelson needs to get back down. Here comes the horsepower drag, and Nelson just able to make the Centura stretch long enough into turn number 1 and 2 once more. Great racing. Walling now shifts him up track. Nelson will do well to come back from there. He gets on the brakes, pulls the car back down, hoping that Walling will go deep He does, but not quite enough. Look at Thayer. What a devastating run, the 31 car. Johnson's been very solid for his second. Holding down a strong top three finish at least is car number 3, Greg Walling. Back then to Richard Nelson, Robbie Hungins, Frank Doze, Greg Bullymore. We go back to Peter Thayer in car number 31, just blitzing this field. Laps are starting to tick by now, and Thayer pretty well starting to enjoy this win. He knows it'll help him in the point score, no end, and he's going to be sitting up there fairly strong. 1 lap left to travel, says Don Crombie. Trevor Johnson slips underneath Dennis Clark to put a lap down. Walling is up to third now. And you would bet that Peter Thayer is wearing a grin from ear to ear inside that helmet. Back there in second. What a run it's been from Johnson. As they go into turn number 3. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Great drive, great win. Peter Thayer collects the win, the 31 Commodore. Back there in second, the 25 entry of Trevor Johnson, the Moylan Silos Cortina. We go back to Greg Walling in the Fielders number 3 car. Back then to Richard Nelson in car number 32. Car number 23, Murray Penn, Rob Hungins, Frank Doze in car number 3. Bullymore back there in car